Continue now with our lead story. Did National Security Advisor Susan Rice spy on the Trump campaign and transition team? Joining us from Washington, Congressman Pete King, member of the House Intelligence Committee, and Senator James Lankford, a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Now, letters have been circulating demanding that Ambassador Rice come in and testify in front of both your committees. Senator, begin with you. How do you assess the situation so far? Say 10 is the most serious story, 1 is the least serious. Where is this?
I would say it's pretty high, close to a 10, because the accusation as it sits out there is that the Obama administration and people within the Obama administration were using their office and access to official documents to get access to then political accusations. This is the same accusation that was flying around with the IRS, for instance, that the IRS was using their tools for political purposes to be able to silence conservatives. If we get close to the campaign time period and they're using official documents, classified documents at that, to either release names, that's obviously a legal issue, to target individuals that are American citizens that were masked. That's called reverse targeting. But when you say you're targeting people internationally, but actually using that to be able to target American citizens, that's not legal, or to be able to use any official document for political purposes. Those are all serious.
Now, you heard Malia Zimmerman say that the track that she's on with Adam Housley is that it was a political play, just as you are concerned about. But if Susan Rice comes before your committee, I can almost guarantee she's going to take the 5th senator. Not going to answer your questions. So
we still need to ask the questions and be able to walk through, and we'll have a voluntary reach out to be able to go to her. We don't want to raise it to a level of subpoena unless you absolutely have to, but we've got a lot of witnesses that were in the process. So far, all the witnesses we've requested have voluntarily agreed to be able to meet with us. We would hope that she would as well.
Okay, but she needs to be under oath, Congressman King, for it to really mean anything.
Absolutely.
Do you expect that the House is going to regressively pursue that?
I am certain they will. We'll have to ask Chairman Nunes to be certain, but I am actually confident that he will. This, as Jim Lankford said, that if all or even most of these charges that are out there, or accusations out there against Susan Rice are true, this does rise to a level of a very high scandal, because it's such an abuse of privacy. It, I believe, violates the law, and it really is undermining the presidency of the United States, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. This is just something that cannot be allowed. So again, we don't know yet, but based on some very reliable sources, these are very, very serious charges that she has to answer. And by the way, they follow logically what Devin Nunes has been saying for the last 2 weeks.
Now, do you expect your colleagues in the Democratic Party on the House Intel Committee to agree with you, Congressman, that this has to be done in a way that's methodical so the American people know the truth, or do you expect obstruction?
I think there will be some obstruction. They will accuse us of trying to deflect the issue away from Russia, but we're going to go ahead with it. We have to go ahead with it. And to me, listen, I'm one of those who believes we have to examine the Russian issue as far as we possibly can, but also this. And right now, to me, there's more say credible accusations, if you will, on the side against Susan Rice than there are against President Trump when it comes to Russia.
All right. Now, do you see it in the Senate as being an obstructionist thing on the Senate Intel Committee, or do you think they're going to cooperate?
I think they'll cooperate. We have really locked arms throughout this investigation from the very beginning, which was for us months ago in the starting, that we agreed we're going to go where the facts go. And we don't know where those facts are going to go, but we need to research. We've got to be able to pull original documents and sources, talk to people that were originally involved in the investigation, pull as many people out as we can to be able to get their personal testimony, but let the facts lead us through it, not let partisanship lead us through it.
But it's going to be hard, because I can, a lot of people disagree with me that Ambassador Rice will take the 5th, but I think she will. Now, Senator, when you heard her on March 22nd say she didn't know anything about any Trump surveillance, and then changed a little bit to nuance that, I was interested for this reason, telling NBC that raise anything, or do you think that's just a natural answer?
I think that's a natural answer. I think the bigger issue is to be able to press some of these issues. When she said she didn't leak anything, you've obviously got to ask, why were these names so important to the National Security Advisor? Obviously, the FBI, some of those folks I can understand in a criminal investigation or a background, but to the National Security Advisor, why is it important? How many staff around her were receiving that, and was she aware any of the staff around her were leaking it? Her question was very specific. I didn't do it, and what you need to know is how many places did that information go after it was unmasked?
Okay, one more question for you, Congressman. As I mentioned, the White House gets a briefing every morning from the intel agencies. Have you ever heard of a national security advisor taking this kind of an interest for more than a year in a campaign or a transition or anything like that? You've been around a while. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Bill, I think it's very unusual for a national security advisor to take this type of interest at all. It may happen occasionally, but to me, that's not her job. She's not an investigator. She's not a cop. She's not an FBI agent. That's their job. Her job is to set policy. So if this is what people are saying it is, this is totally unusual and I think totally wrong and inappropriate. And if we're talking about veracity here, remember, our first impression of Susan Rice and our lasting impression was when she went on all the shows to say that a video was the source of the Benghazi attack.
But I don't think that's fair here, because this is a different situation, and I know that she was embarrassed by that. She had to
Well,
be.
she was embarrassed because she got caught.
Again, you're assigning a motive to her. I can't, but she does have a history there. But I don't know if we should prejudge this.
I'm not prejudging. I'm just saying that when you're factoring in everything, you also consider prior statements and prior conduct.
Okay, and that's true. Gentlemen, thanks very much. Please keep us posted. If you get anything, please let us know. Our audience is very, very interested in this story.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Senator.